Hello students, hope you are doing well. This is the next lecture in the series of consumer behavior. Now we are dealing with unit 2 and the topic that we are going to study today is economic factors affecting consumer behavior. In the previous lecture we have studied about the various factors that are affecting consumer behavior. We have studied the overview of all the factors. Now in the coming lecture we will be discussing each of the factors in detail. Now, today we will be covering economic factors affecting consumer behavior. These are the economic factors: personal income, family income, consumer liquid assets, savings, and consumer credit. We will be discussing each of them in detail in the coming slides. First is personal income. Personal income can be bifurcated into disposable or discretionary income. So let's first see disposable income. Disposable income is the summation of savings and spending. It represents the potential purchasing power that a buyer has. There is a direct relationship between disposable income and purchasing power. Higher the disposable income, higher will be the purchasing power. Increase in disposable income means the purchasing power will be higher and the consumer will spend on high on various items. Whereas in the reverse scenario, if disposable income decreases, then automatically the purchasing power will also reduce and the expenditure will also reduces. Then coming to the discretionary income, we have seen that the disposable income that we get after deduction of taxes. Now the discretionary income is the money that is left after fulfilling the basic needs. Once the basic needs gets fulfilled, then only the person will go for shopping goods, durable goods, and luxuries items. And for this purpose, discretionary income is there. So, increase in discretionary income means that the consumer will try to enhance the standard of living because now he has fulfilled the basic requirements of life. Now his next level of motivation is to stand to enhance the standard of living. So increase in discretionary income is directly proportional to enhancing standard of living. Whereas in the reverse scenario, if discretionary income decreases, so in that case, the consumer will try to satisfy the basic needs and he will not go for enhancing standard of living. So standard of living will remain as it used to be earlier. Then coming to the family income. Family income is the aggregate income of all the family members of a family and it influences the purchase decision. The size of family and the size of family income is an important factor in spending and saving patterns. Size of family and family income can be seen as can be understood with the help of this example. Suppose a family of 5 members and they are earning as a total of 25,000 means on an average each family member is earning 5,000. Whereas if we see a family member of three are earning 1,80,000. So means on an average each family member is earning as 60,000. So it depends on the size of the family and the size of the family income. Usually it generally says that it's said that the families which are large they spend more whereas small families spend less in comparison, but it all depends on the size of the family income. Just like I gave example, like a family of 5 and a family of 3, but in case although the family of size is bigger, but the income of family of size 3 was greater. So it depends on size of family income also. So the income which is left after fulfilling the basic needs, so that after for that amount of money, they will purchase shopping goods, durable and luxuries. Next, coming to the income expectations. that also affect the purchase decision or buying behavior. If a consumer is expecting that in coming future he will uh, have some kind of monetary gain, so he will think of spending durable goods, shopping goods, and luxuries life for enhancing the standard of living. But in the reverse scenario, if he knows that in coming future he doesn't have any, he is not expecting any kind of monetary gain, so in that case he will be restricting the current expenditure on these types of item. So income expectations also play an important role in buying behavior. Then coming to the savings part, uh, it all depends on individual choice whether he want to save more or save less. So that saving will impact the expenditure. If a person chooses to save more, then automatically the expenditure on buying reduces. This goes well with the habit of spending or saving with the disposable incomes of buyers. If the buyer give importance to present need, they dispose of their income. Whereas if they, uh, whereas in case of uh, importance of future need, they will spend less. So it all depends that what kind of scenario that a consumer is in, and if he gives importance to the present need, then he will automatically spend more. And if he needs that. That in case of in future he needs more amount of money, so he is planning to buy a flat or he is going to make some kind of investment in next 5 years, so he will restrict the present spendings and he will save more. So it all depends on what kind of need he has. If he is thinking that his kid is going for higher education at present, so at that time he will spend more. Or this kind of this is just an example. So there can be n number of situations in which the consumer are. So it all depends that whether they are giving priority to the present need or future need. If they are giving priority to the present need, they will dispose of the income. Whereas if they are giving importance to the future need, they will spend less and they will save more. Then liquid assets. Liquid means here is which can be converted into cash, and that too without any loss. It include cash in hand, the bank balance, the marketable securities. Now, if you have more liquidity with you, you will go for buying of comfort and luxury items. Whereas if you have less liquidity, you will restrict the spending on these types of items. Next is consumer credit. In layman term, credit is simply the udhar. Credit facilities available to consumer who are desirous to purchase comfort and luxury goods. It is made available by the seller whether they are directly giving or they are giving it indirectly through bank or any financial institution. It all depends what kind of terms and conditions they are having. If the credit terms are liberal, so people will expand, it will spend more, and as it induces consumers to purchase these goods and raise their living standards, as this provide an opportunity to consumers to buy now and pay later. So they have to just buy at that moment, and they need not to pay the amount at that time. They can pay later. They have different options, EMI options, or they have to give certain amount of uh, money as down payment and interest they can give in a certain period of time. So it is very good option for those who are going for costly items like cars, scooter, washing machines, high-end furniture, televisions, and so on. This is just like the credit card facility in which you can purchase the item according to the limit of card, and you can pay later on uh, based on the condition that the bank has given to you. So it provides consumer a good opportunity to buy things, and and they can pay money according to their convenience and when they are getting money. If the terms are liberal, so consumer will go more for these types of item. Uh, so consumer credit is also playing an important role in purchase decision. So this is all for today's lecture. In the coming lecture, we will be discussing about the process of sensation and perception, emotions, etc. So thank you for devoting your time for this lecture.